What up, guys? It's your boy, Sauce. So, yeah, I just felt like another rant. But first, another reminder that you matter. You are important. You are valuable. You are cherished. Your voice has power. All you have to do is speak. So, yeah, just another rant. This time I want to talk about setting examples, and maybe I will preach a little too. Now, I know a lot of you guys could care less about the preaching, but that also won't stop me. I'm not here to stroke your egos or self-validate you. I'm here to push self-reflection and growth. Also, if you noticed, I've been exposing certain things due to AI manipulation and how some people are manipulating AI to support their corrupt, negative conspiracy worldviews and even using it to go after their haters. I highly suggest you guys be aware of that. And what I'm doing with that is I'm taking one of the person who hates me and flipping it into a positive and speaking truth to his twisted manipulation of AI to support his created lies about others. He's even did a piece on me, twisting how we fell out. It's all about the wording he used, seeking revenge on the people he hates. And I will say, all of them have already went no contact. He admits to honeypotting everyone and taking his bait, meaning he's purposely setting up traps and trying to build legal cases. And to think he calls everyone else frauds. But I will say about that, do not hate him. He strives off conflict. He's invisible without it. It gives him a sense of purpose, and he needs the validation. I would say to him, he doesn't need to do this, which I have before. He's only making himself look worse and worse, and the more he talks. He wants public apologies. Okay then, apologize to me and I will do the same. He wants to play the victim while spending more than 2 years slandering others. Just shows he's no victim. He's the abuser. It's really draining watching someone who is emotionally unstable talk about how he hates humanity and wants some revenge. So I took it upon myself to teach you guys with the negative, and I will continue to correct any lie he pushes out. Everything is not a conspiracy. There are no Masons in MGTOW. Can you prove it? Ask this one if he can prove it, and watch you be blocked. He only does this to others for conflict, to feel like he exists. He has AI chat saying he's some empath, but all he pushes out is hate and doesn't offer to teach anything to help others. There's a deep agenda of resentment behind this person, a stronghold of unforgiveness, a stronghold of seeking power and control, a stronghold to cause harm to others. Another thing I have said, I am not MGTOW. I once considered myself to be one. I have said I was leaving YouTube, but I decided to stay because I realized that's what the people who hate me want me to do. So they can manipulate and control how others think. I say again, think for yourselves. There's no controlling the things I do. You offended? Too bad, so sad. You don't need to be. Like I said, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to have you look at yourself and self-reflect to edify you. So now let's talk about some other stuff. Remember a while back I said if you come across any negativity, to shut the noise off. I find I do this myself often. It becomes a repeatable cycle of resentment and drama. All this is doing is taking your focus on yourself and your personal growth and shifting focus onto others and their drama. I will say to many of them, and I've said it in a video, just because you hate them doesn't mean I have to. It may have burned you, but they didn't burn me, so why should I hate them? What is the solution? And what are some tools to move past the negativity? When your channels become the same thing, focused on the same group or the same people, it becomes draining for your listeners, the ones that do support you. Then if you see someone you don't like, go to one of your listeners' channels and they don't boot or shut the ones up you hate, you then turn on the listener of yours as your enemy. Basically forgetting that this listener stood up for you and supported you. Is this a grasp for controlling their channel? It shouldn't matter who goes to their channel or not, it's their channel. So are we trying to isolate this person? Trying to criticize all their work in the past? I don't even do that to Banana. And no, it isn't about me. What do I promote? So think about it. What do I promote? Me? Sauce? What do I promote for you guys? I promote to think for yourselves and not to feed into the drama. Self-reflection and to push love even for your haters. If I end up somewhere and then I remove myself, that is because my message isn't being heard and chaos is thriving. And I am told by the Lord to kick the dust off my feet. Those who are His will hear. I don't care about your drama with this group. I don't care about their drama with some other group. Holding on to resentments and hatred for your so-called enemies is not only unhealthy for you, but it's also unhealthy for those you drag into it. If you found I removed myself, it's nothing against you. It's about self-growth, not distractions and negativity. I still support you, but I don't support the negative and division. So, yeah, it's honestly exhausting to see people constantly feeling negativity and conflict. I always stumble over that negative word. It's like they've forgotten the power of setting a good example. A power that God calls us to embrace. The Bible tells us to be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. James 1:19. But so many seem to forget that. Instead of using their words to heal or uplift, they choose to tear down and attack. Every word, every action is a chance to reflect Christ's love. But too often, people act as if they are more important to be right or to win the fight than to show the grace and mercy that's been given to them. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Matthew 5:43-44. We're not called to simply call out the wrongs in others, but to lead with love and show compassion, even in the face of hostility. We can't heal the hate we see in others if we're only responding with more hate. So like I said, hate begets hate. Instead, we need to show them the way, set an example of what it looks like to forgive, to let go, and to seek peace. Too many people think it's okay to let bitterness take root in their hearts. The scripture says, let all bitterness, wrath, and anger, and clamor, and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Ephesians 4:31. How can we expect to bring healing to a broken world if we're so quick to hold grudges, to destroy others with our words, to harbor resentments? Setting an example means choosing to live differently, choosing to be a vessel of grace. It means showing that you can disagree without turning into a battle. That you can stand strong without crushing someone's spirit. In Romans 12:17-18 it says, repay no evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men. That's not just a suggestion, it's a command. The world doesn't need more people who thrive on conflict and misery. We need people who are walking examples of forgiveness, who rise above petty disputes, who choose to speak life instead of death. It's not just about being right, it's about reflecting God's character in how we respond. Proverbs 15:1 reminds us, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. We're not called to create more chaos, we're called to be peacemakers, to offer grace, to forgive as we have been forgiven. Ephesians 4:32. The world needs to see that you can stand firm in truth while still offering love. That you can be strong without breaking others down. When you set an example, you leave a trail for others to follow, one that builds them up, one that points them to Christ. You can't expect others to turn away from hate if you're feeding it with your own actions. Jesus didn't call us to be like the world. He called us to be like Him, to love as He loved us. Even when it's hard, even when we don't want to, if we all focused on being the examples of Christ, love and forgiveness, we'd see hearts change. Jesus came to heal, not to condemn. And His followers, we are called to do the same. So when the world wants to pull you into conflict, choose love. When others come at you with hate, return it with grace. Let go of the resentment and bitterness that weighs down your soul. And remember that forgiveness is the key to true freedom. Remember, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. 2 Corinthians 5:17. We can turn away from the inner hate, leave it behind, and live in the freedom and peace that Christ offers. Be the example that leads others to Him. Yeah, so as you could tell, I was reading that last part with the scriptures. I had to write it down. I couldn't whim that off the top of my head. But yeah, so even I do this. We are all human. We all tend to slip and fall and react to negatively and all this stuff. So remember what I said. You don't need to respond. You don't need to feed into that. What you're doing when you feed into that, you're also validating your haters or the people that hate you. I wouldn't even say that your haters, the people that hate you. So a lot of this, like I said, is distractions. A lot of people want you to slip and react negatively. A lot of people strive for war, to harm others. As I was talking about in the beginning of this video, about one person, how I was taking his negatives, his hatred, I'm flipping it to teach others in a positive. I'm setting an example. And I'm not even calling him out directly. You know? And just by me talking about him right now, I'm validating him because it makes him exist, and that's what he wants. Without me, he's nothing. Without his haters, he's nothing. And I hate to see him in such a bad spot like that, but he continues. He strives for conflict, like I was saying. He doesn't need to do that. He's talking about how he's an empath and all this stuff, but yet he's pushing hatred every day. That's not an empath. He needs to show love. Do you know why he doesn't show love? Because he's never been given love. He's never had his father who's been there to show him how to be a man. And that's not a shame to him either. How many times have I said to this person, you all know who I'm talking about, come back, you don't need to do this. Just forgive, let go. How many times have I said this? Too many times. But he wants war. He wants revenge. He wants to cause harm to others. I'm pretty much, the way I see it is, I'm looking at the seed of Satan. As he calls everyone Satanists. But yeah, so 16 minutes, that's my rant. So yeah, we can set good examples. Holding on to this group over here or this group over here, the Nistows and all this stuff, that's all pointless. It's all vanity. It's all holding you guys back from growing. And that's just my opinion. You guys may disagree. So there's a while ago, I think it was last Christmas, I went to one guy about calling another guy Hitler or Nazi or something like that, and I tried to explain to him how this is wrong. This is the wrong approach. No, I don't hate any of those guys. I don't like the ways one of those guys is doing things and how he's controlling his viewers into and holding them into a hatred for women. But none of us are morally better than each other. We're all human. We all should be on level ground. This guy might have different traits and skills than I do. Doesn't make him above me. Doesn't put him below me. This person, he might be addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I don't drink, and I don't smoke weed or do drugs. It doesn't make him below me. It doesn't put him above me. You see my point? He's still human. He's still a person just like me. I could easily fall into that stuff too. If I start picking up the bottle, going to parties and stuff, and having fun with friends, I could become addicted to that alcohol. You know? It's all based on choices. We all have choices. Some of us make bad choices. We all make bad choices. We all make proper choices, but we all make bad choices. It's all a learning process. Someone's on a different step than you are. It may take them 10 years. They may never get above to the next step. They may be stuck. Why don't you offer them your hand and help them? If they don't want the help, that's their own fault. You can't help everyone. You can't save them all. As I've been hearing, you can't save them all. That's up to God. I could plant seeds, but I can't save no one. You know? But remember what I said, look inwards, not outwards. Stay positive and humble, and turn to Jesus Christ, get in that word.